I started a podcast which you should check out in the description down below, and I had Barabi in there. We talk about different things except from Boruto. So for those people who want diversity in this channel, and as well as, you know, getting to know other YouTubers out there who make good content, then check out the podcast. So let's talk about the review. Okay, so I start with a question, and that question is, what do you think about the White Knight band, or is it bandits? I don't know, I'm just gonna call them White Knight bandits. What do you think about them? Okay, all right, I understand. So that is basically what the entire episode has been. The episode has been a collection of people's thoughts on whether the White Knight band are doing a good thing or a bad thing. Now, I think I have uncovered what their plan is, all right, and I think, right, that it could possibly be, and I say possibly, be that their plan is revolution. All right, I think they want to conquer the people by their heroic but sinister acts, and then get the people to be or stand on their side so they can oppose their government. All right, if that is the case, if that was actually what is happening, then that would actually be a good plot for this arc before the Chunin exam starts, because these people are actually turning over the hearts of the, you know, civilians within the Lee village. As we've seen, there was a person who misdirected Temari, I think fully well knowing that, you know, he misdirected Temari and, you know, Shikadai and Boruto, and it goes to show that they are actually conquering the hearts of the people, and if they do, they can get them to turn against the government to say, look, you people ain't doing shit. The White Knight bandits are, you know, the people who are doing something, and we can see them actually achieve something, so we stand with them, and, you know, where the whole revolution thing happens. I think if that is the case, then I would actually love to see revolution in there, because we have never seen people overthrow their government in the entirety of Naruto, or at least not what I remember. The only thing I remember is Orochimaru actually going to the daimyo of the Land of Sound, I believe it's called, and he just popped up and said, yo, I'm starting a village, bye, and then he just started a village. That's what Orochimaru did, but I don't remember anyone else causing revolution, or at least attempting it, except from Sasuke. Alright, so let's go back to the episode now. We know the motives of the White Knight band, and it is to help the poor, or to ultimately get rid of poverty in itself. And now my question to you is, do you think there can be a world that exists where everybody is equal, or there is no poverty at all? If the White Knight band were a government, or if they had all the resources, I think they would actually be a bunch of socialists. And if you don't know what socialism is, I suggest you look that up, because it actually has a lot to do with equality, which is something I think that these new villains are going for. Now, one thing I must confess in my reviews is that sometimes when I do review things, I review it to certain depths which actually, you know, relate with real life, and I always question myself whether the creators, or the, you know, the people who are behind this whole thing actually planned to that degree which I'm reviewing it to. But on the other hand, I can use the anime to, you know, bring up debates and, you know, get people talking about issues that occur in real life, like the episode where the gamer, or the game designer, you know, had troubles with his work and all that kind of stuff. Like, these are real life issues that occur. So, you know, I think these episodes actually do remind people about things that occur in real life, and say, you know what, we need to actually do something about that. I can go more into depth with that, but I want to keep this review to 10 minutes because people have a short attention span. So the new friend of Shikadai, whose name is Yogi, I believe, I think has some conflicts going on. I think he knows that he is trying to help people out, but at the same time he knows that it is a crime. And I think that he's thinking about the consequences of his actions, because if you think about it, they are stealing to help a poor village from a rich village, which is Konoha. But if you actually get to know the rich people, you actually figure out that they are not that bad. Like, Ryogi actually got to know, you know, a person from Konoha, which is Shikadai, and Konoha represents the rich side, and, you know, the village, the unknown village, represents the poor side. So he's helping the poor, but he gets to know the rich, and the fact that he can befriend a rich person or someone who lives in that area means that just because people are rich doesn't necessarily mean they are crooks. So at the moment, I think he's in a crossroads where he cannot decide whether he's doing the right thing or the wrong thing, because on one side he's helping, but on the other side he is causing problems for other people. Like I said in my previous review, they are not exactly solving the problem, they are just providing a temporal fix and leaving other people in anger. Ryogi is in a crossroads, I think, deciding internally what he will do and what is right, and Shikadai is basically facing the same thing, because obviously no one agrees with him, because he says sometimes there is a necessary evil and right or wrong is just a bunch of opinions with limited sides to choose from. I like how these two characters, I think, feel the same way about the situation which is going on. One side is on the rich side and the other side is helping the poor, basically, and you know, they are the two people who actually meet up in the middle, and they actually do meet up in person to play shogi. Again, with the thing about revolution and influencing people on their deeds, it even caused Shikadai to not want to participate in stopping whoever this bandit was that was carrying out this task that is unknown. People might say that he figured out who the person is, but if anything, it should have been Boruto to figure out who that, you know, person is, who Ryogi actually is, because first of all, Boruto has fought an ice-styled user, and that's the only ice-styled user he's ever seen, right? So he discovers this person again. He says, I think that I've seen you somewhere before. So let me get this straight, Boruto. You feel like this guy is, number one, very familiar to you. Number two, is the same height as the person who you fought. Number three, you've seen this guy use ice ninjutsu as well as the other guy who you fought who also uses ice ninjutsu. I mean, that is more than enough information for you to be at least suspicious of the guy. But nope, he doesn't figure anything out. So we get to see Tamari, which is a breath of fresh air once you get to see the previous cast. I can't help knowing that Shikamaru dicked her down. Besides that point, they are sending out people who are above Chunin level to actually guard the village. So my question is, what are the Anbu doing and what are the police doing? Because it seems from these episodes that the Leaf police are pretty much useless, because they cannot even do their job, to the point where they have to rely on the village's military force to deal with these problems. I mean, how did a bunch of bandits break into the village itself? Pain broke into the village, but he easily got detected, and it has been a very long time since that age. There is new technology, so their security must have gone up, but for some reason a bunch of bandits still sneak in and out of the village without any detection at all. There is a problem which has been presented in today's episode, and it is that the team of Metal Lee, Iwabe and Denki is actually led by Udon. First of all, we finally discover what Udon is doing, and he is the leader of a squad, just like Muegi and Konohamaru. However, that begs the question of what happened to Rock Lee, because in the Boruto movie, Rock Lee was assumed to be the leader of Metal Lee's team, mainly because the participants in Metal Lee's team were wearing the iconic outfits, and who would make them wear those outfits except from Rock Lee? I think they kind of replaced them with Udon. So I wonder if Udon is gonna, you know, quit being the leader and let Rock Lee take over, or they are just gonna keep this change. I think they are gonna stick with this change, because if you look at the Boruto movie, Iwabe and Denki are nowhere to be seen. So another question is, will they be partaking in the Chunin exam? Because if they can change the teachers, right, then they can pretty much change anything. Metal Lee's arm is fucked because Iwabe was reckless. Now, he improved his mudroll technique to the point where he could actually form a barrier around people. Now, people say that that is overpowered, but no, it's not. And that is because Iwabe improved his technique, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is overpowered, because if you look at the Jonin of Konoha, these people created walls the size of the Nue, alright? What Iwabe did is nothing in comparison to that. Anyways, we see Sumire's team who are waiting for the White Knight band to come out, and apparently Namida actually went to get a Jonin, and then Sumire asks, isn't there a Jonin nearby? But fuck that, why do you need a Jonin? Where are the police who are supposed to be guarding the entire village? Another question for Sumire's entire team is, apparently, and spoiler alert for those people who do not read the manga, you might want to skip like a minute ahead. Alright, so Sumire does not participate in the Chunin exam, right? So if she did not participate, what happened to Namida and Wasabi? Because we didn't hear anything about them, and Sumire specifically specified herself not being part of the Chunin exam. So what happened to her team? In the end, like I said, the White Knight band or bandits end up figuring out that the civilians actually helped them escape or create a diversion, right? And one of these civilians is the guy who told Temari the wrong direction. The woman didn't even say anything, did not snitch. She's on some no snitching policy. And then Shikadai barely did anything, like he didn't do anything at all. So Temari actually questions him and says, what you're really good at is not hesitating and reading the situation. So if anyone was to make the decision to take a little bit of risk, it would have been Shikadai, since he knew the odds, since they had a Jonin with them. So like I said, they are winning the hearts of the people, since the people have actually noticed that no one is helping the poor village, and if they do keep going on, they might convince the people to join them in their task to commit crimes in Konoha, and then a whole revolution thing is going to happen if it goes that far. So hopefully it does go in that direction and the story becomes more interesting, or it just doesn't and the show stays average until the Chunin exam arc. Anyways, have a look at the podcast, which I will link at the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I want to know your thoughts on socialism in the comment section down below. What direction you think this arc is going into and whether it's going to get interesting or not. I don't want to hear no Kawaki theories, because Kawaki is not in this arc. With that being said, I have nothing more to say. Bye.